The S-Mend is a technique for presenting a fly to salmon or sea trout lying under overhanging bankside vegetation. It is particularly useful on narrow rivers with restricted room for a backcast. Begin with the fly line extending downstream. Make one or more mends towards the bank. Keep your rod pointing at that bank. Allow the force of the current to swing the fly and line towards the bank. Now make a mend towards the opposite bank. If the current is strong enough, it will bring the fly upstream before the fly turns and heads quickly downstream. Salmon may chase the fly as it retreats downstream. In a weak current, you may have to retrieve line. Begin to retrieve line as the fly nears the end of its downstream journey. Fish seem to be attracted by the change in direction that occurs in two places, once as the fly turns at the end of its upstream journey, and a second time at the end of the fly's downstream journey, just before it comes to the dangle.
Mending normally refers to moving the fly line after it has landed on the water in order to overcome the effects of drag on the fly. In contrast, the S-Mend uses the current to induce movement in the fly. In his book, Advanced Salmon Fishing, Reg Righyni wrote, "At temperatures in the lower 50s, it often becomes necessary to let the salmon have a good view of the bait only during a rather quick turn." He used this diagram to show the spinner making a U-turn ahead of the fish. He remarked that sometimes a fish will take while the bait is travelling rapidly downstream. Finally, he wrote, "When the fish are lively enough to respond to this type of presentation, sport can be possible from steep, heavily treed banks where there are lies that cannot be covered effectively in any other way." The S-Mend technique presented in this short video was inspired by these valuable insights into salmon taking habits.